Today is Tuesday, May 11, year 2021. Let's read part 1, book of Genesis, chapter 39. And Jacob called his sons and said to them, Gather yourselves together, and I may tell you these things that shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together and hear, O ye sons of Jacob. Hearken to Israel your father. Reuben, my firstborn, thou art my strength, and the beginning of my sorrow, excelling in gifts, greater in command. Thou art poured out as water, grow thou not, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, and didst defile his couch. Simon and Levi, brethren, oneself iniquity, waging war. Let not my soul go into their council, nor my glory in their assembly, because in their fury they slew a man, and in their self-will they undermined a war. Cursed be their fury, because it was stubborn, and their wrath, because it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob, and will scatter them in Israel. Judah, thee shall thy brethren praise. Thy hand shall be on the neck of thy enemies. The sons of thy father shall bow down to thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. To the prey, my son, thou art gone up, resting thou hast couched as a lion, and as a lioness who shall rouse him. The centipede shall not be taken away from Judah, nor a ruler from his thigh, till he came that to be sent, and he shall be the exception of the nations, tying his foal to the vineyard, to his ass, O my son, to the wine. He shall wash his robe in wine, and his garment in the blood of the grape. His eyes are more beautiful than wine, and his teeth whiter than milk. Zebulun shall dwell in the seashore and in the road shape, reaching as far as Sidon. Issachar shall be a strong ass, lying down between the border. He saw rest that it was good, and the land that was excellent, and he bowed his shoulder to carry, and because a servant under tribute. Dan shall judge his people like another tribe in Israel. Let Dan be a snake in the way, a serpent in the path, that beateth the horse heel, that his rider may fall backwards. I will look for thy salvation, O Lord. Gad, being girded, shall fight before him, and he himself shall be girded backwards. Asher, his bread shall be fat, and he shall be yields dignity to kings. Naphtali, a heart let loose and giving words of beauty. Joseph is a growing son, and comely to behold. The daughters run to and fro upon the wall, but they that held darts provoke him, and quarrel with him, and envied him. His bow rests upon the strong, and the bend of his arm, and his hands were loosed by the hand of the mighty one of Jacob. Thence he came forth a pastor, the stone is Israel. The God of thy father shall be thy helper, and the Almighty shall bless thee with the blessing of heaven above, with the blessing of deep that lies beneath, with the blessing of the breast of the womb. The blessing of thy father are strengthened with the blessing his father, until the desire of everlasting hill should come. May they be upon the head of Joseph, and upon the crown of Nazarite among his brethren. Benjamin, a ravenous wolf in the morning, shall eat the prey, and in the evening shall divide the spoil. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel. These things their father spoke to them, and he blessed everyone with their proper blessing. And he charged them, saying, I am now going to be gathered to my people. Bury me with my father in the double cave, which is in the fields Ephron and Hittite, over against Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought together with the field of Ephron and Hittite for possession of burying. There they buried him and Sarah his wife. There was Isaac buried with Rebekah his wife. There also Leah doth lie buried. And when he had ended the commandments wherewith he instructed his son, he drew up his feet upon the bed and died. And he was gathered to his people, which in the fields Ephron and Hittite, over against Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought together with the field of Ephron and Hittite for possession of burying. There they buried him and Sarah his wife. There was Isaac buried with Rebekah his wife. There also Leah doth lie buried. And when he had ended the commandments wherewith he instructed his son, he drew up his feet upon the bed and died. And he was gathered to his people. And he was gathered to his people.